So much for stopping in. Today we're going to be doing more TryHackMe. We are doing the web application penetration testing learning path, and we are, I don't know, 3-4 rooms deep now. So we're continuing with the learning path, and it is the multi-factor authentication room. Let's go ahead and dive right into it. This demo is for educational purposes only. Ethical hacking is legal and differs from illegal hacking. Always ensure you have legal permission before performing what you see in this demo. Alright, before we do anything, TryHackMe actually released a new feature, and it's dark mode. And we gotta figure out, oh, it's really easy. You just gotta click your profile picture, and then click dark mode. Oh, look at that. We are in. We are so in, dude. We're ready to go. Like, imagine if dark mode was a thing, you know, a couple years ago when I was going ham on TryHackMe. I don't use TryHackMe as much as I do. I don't use TryHackMe as much nowadays as I used to, mostly because I pretty much finished all the learning paths. There's only a few of them that I haven't done yet that are more blue teaming and cyber defense related. Another reason why I'm on TryHackMe now is because this is a new learning path that just came out recently, and I'm going through it because I like to have all of the offensive security learning paths completed. Anyways, enough of the tangent. And just imagine if this dark mode existed back when I was going ham on TryHackMe. I never would have got off. My eyes never would have got sore. I would always just been glued to the screen. Never would have took breaks or nothing, dude. So this is really cool. TryHackMe, if you're watching, thank you so much. Thank you so much for releasing dark mode. We needed it badly. I'm actually kind of curious what this looks like. Let's go to view profile. Whoa, why'd I go back to light mode, dude? View profile. How do I go to, let's go to the dashboard. I want to look at, yeah, look at that. See, there was ways to make dark mode, but like, it was hard to read like the skills matrix, and the skills matrix is still in beta. It's kind of weird how the skills matrix is still beta. It's been a beta for like 3 years, dude. This is beautiful. Dark mode, so glad. Yeah, also another thing that they added is this SOC simulator. Triage alerts in real time. Like, this is a whole new thing. It says TryHackMe for business, so you might have to pay extra for that. Especially it says for business, so that usually comes at a very hefty price tag. But it's still pretty cool, nonetheless. I'm not on a SOC team, so it's not really something that I want to do. But maybe if I get into blue teaming, this might be something I want to do. This is pretty cool. Alright, enough of that. Let's go ahead and start doing it. What's up, Thrill House? Welcome to the stream. Thanks for stopping in. Glad to see you here. Is it Grebodman? Grebodmon? V2? Thanks for stopping in. Glad to see you in the chat. I love you, bro, from Morocco. Well, thank you. I appreciate you stopping in. What's up, Dustin? How's it going, man? Yeah, dark mode's a game changer, dude. You know, another reason why I stopped getting on TryHackMe as much is because I reached the highest level. I cannot go any higher, and that just like not seeing my level go up anymore is just very sad. But it does take a long time to get there, though. Like, once you get it, it used to be called God, by the way. They changed the legend. I kind of like being referred to as a god, but I digress. Please, room silver server. No, we're going down the learning path, which is this right here. So web app pen testing. We're only 18% done, by the way. We have done enumeration and brute force, session management, JWT security, and OAuth vulnerabilities. So this week in this stream, we're doing multi-factor authentication. How did you get dark mode? Got in late. So if you click in your profile picture right here, it's just right here. See how it says light mode? If you were on light mode, it would say dark mode. 10th prestige. Yeah, dude. That's how it feels like. Like, yeah, when you get on 10th Prestige, or like when you hit Prestige Master in Call of Duty Black Ops 2, you're like, well, what's the point of playing now? That's kind of like how TryHackMe is for me. I still learn stuff though from this new learning path, so this is pretty cool. Do I need to zoom in so you guys can read better? I'm sure you guys can already read better now that it's in dark mode. You guys are staying up late, your eyes aren't getting burned out of your skull. Let's just go ahead and give it a thumbs up. I don't know if it's going to be a good room, but I have faith. Multi-factor authentication plays an important part in modern day applications. Instead of just relying on a password, MFA throws in extra layers of defense. Basically, MFA is a combination of different checks. It might be something you like, like a password, something you have, like a smartphone, or something you are, like a fingerprint, or your eyeball, or your handprint. By using these layers, MFA makes it much tougher for threat actors to access user accounts or applications. And if you guys get confused by my random highlighting, I'm sorry. I'll just randomly highlight a word for no reason. Like, I try to highlight what I'm reading, but sometimes I just miss it. What's up, Craigshaw? Thanks for stopping in. Glad to see you here. I appreciate your videos. Thank you. I'm glad you appreciate them. I'm glad you enjoy them. That's what I make them for. I help people out. I'm assuming these are subscription exercises. Yeah, 100%. I'm pretty sure this one is. I know the room before this definitely was, because my subscription expired and I actually had to redo my subscription live on the stream. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. Objectives. By the end of this room, you will understand the operational principles of MFA and the significance in strengthening an application security posture. Explore the different types of authentication factors used in MFA setups. Gain insights into practical scenarios where MFA is implemented to protect sensitive data and systems. Prerequisites. Before starting this room, you should have a basic understanding of the following concepts. Familiarity with the general concepts of authentication mechanisms, including knowledge of how passwords and simple authentication processes work. Basic proficiency in navigating and using the Linux command line. Completion of the enumeration and brute force room. I think I did that room. So we're good. I did all the prereqs. Starting the machine. Let's go ahead and start the machine, I suppose. Oh, dark mode. I love it, dude. What a game changer. To play the target VM. Okay, I know how to start that. We already did that. I have started the target machine. I'm ready to learn about MFA. Boom. Look at that, baby. I got a 1 streak again. Did you guys know how crazy it was to get a 365-day streak? Like, it was hard. I had to set an alarm every day to remind myself that my streak was about to end. I would set it like 10 o'clock at night because it would, reset at midnight if I didn't get on. 10 o'clock, my alarm would just go off every single day, 10 o'clock at night. And I intentionally snapped my streak because I was like, hey, I'm not like, I think I made it to like 380 something days, maybe almost 400 days. And I'm like, bro, I'm done. I can't do any more days in a row. And I just intentionally snapped my streak, and that caused me so much anxiety. And then I would say for months, even like a whole year afterwards, like I would just get like PTSD at like at 10 o'clock. And I just expect my alarm clock to go off, and it wouldn't go off. I'm like, oh, I would just get anxiety at that time every day. So I'm just saying, if you go for the 365-day streak badge on TryHackMe, it's not for the faint of heart. I'm gonna tell you what. Did everyone see how he now has a join button? I do have a join button. I did start YouTube memberships. I unlocked memberships a long time ago, but I just now implemented it because I didn't know what I wanted to do with it. And I finally figured it out. And I finally just said, hey, let's just go ahead and make it this. Alright, continuing on. How MFA works. In today's digital age, literally how ChatGPT starts all its prompts if you're using ChatGPT for cybersecurity. In today's cybersecurity landscape, in today's digital age, the ever-evolving cyber landscape, let's delve into the process. Anyways, keeping our sensitive data in systems secure is more important than ever. Multi-factor authentication adds extra protection to user accounts by requiring you to provide 2 or more verification factors. This makes accessing user accounts significantly more challenging for threat actors. It's important to note that 2FA, two-factor authentication, is a subset of MFA, multi-factor authentication. MFA refers to any authentication process that requires 2 or more factors to verify a user's identity. Thanks, Dustin. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's not easy getting YouTube memberships. You gotta have 3,000 watch hours in a 365-day period. Not easy to do, let me tell you what. I think the main thing with YouTube is you just gotta be consistent. Like, you just gotta make videos every week. Even with, like, I would say nowadays, like 9 times out of 10, like, I just don't feel like making a video, but I just do it anyways because it has to be done, like, because I committed to it, you know? I was like, if I don't make this video, someone's like expecting a video. There's someone out there expecting a video today. I have to get it out there. It's gonna change someone's life. And it's like, you know, the mentality I have to take. Types of authentication factors. MFA typically combines 2 or more different types of credentials from categories: something you know, something you have, something you are, somewhere you are, or something you do. Alright, here we go. We got something you have, we have something you know, and something you are. Something you know. This could be a password, a PIN, or any other piece of information you have to remember. It forms the basis of most authentication systems, but it can be vulnerable if not used simultaneously with other factors. Something you have. This could be a phone with an authentication app, a security token, or even a smart card. My CAC piv. Lately, we're seeing more use of client credentials. Speaking of CAC pivs, Dustin, do you have your DD214 yet? Or are you on terminal leave? Lately, we're seeing more use of client certificates, which are like digital ID cards for devices. Something you are. This involves biometrics such as fingerprints, facial recognition, or iris scans. I told you, I said eyes. I said that earlier. Yes, I was joking. There's also retina scanners too. There's a difference between a retina scanner and an iris scanner, by the way. They teach you that in the CISSP. You're like, what? Like, I thought iris and retina was the same thing. It's not. It's not. They're different. And anybody that is like familiar with biology, they're probably like, no crap, no duh, a retina is different than an iris. But it's like, well, some of us didn't do very well in biology, okay? I'm one of them. I literally drew, in my high school biology class, I didn't know the answer to a question. I literally drew Spider-Man swinging from a web, and I wrote Spider-Man as the answer. That's how much I paid attention to biology class. Do you have to have a certain number of subscribers to go live on YouTube? Man, I don't know the answer to that question. I don't know. Because by the time I decided I wanted to do live streams on YouTube, I already had it unlocked. Also, Red Cyber Noah, thanks for stopping in. Glad to see you here. I don't know. You might have to have a certain amount of subscribers. I feel like you shouldn't. I feel like anybody should be able to go live. But don't call me on that. This form of authentication is gaining popularity because it's tough to fake and is now found in many of our gadgets, from phones to laptops. It's important to note that a fingerprint never matches 100%. Never. That's some bold words. We should try to get, like, if we can try to do a fingerprint scanner like 1,000,000 times, I'm sure we can get one with 100%. I don't know, probably not. I don't know. I'm not a fingerprint scanner expert. As of January 1st, dude, that's like the perfect day to get a DD214, by the way. That's sick. Did you go in on January 1st? Like, did you just like start basic training on January 1? Because if you did, that's actually pretty wild. And as a face scanner, and a face scan never matches 100%. So this is one factor that should always be supplemental and never used in pure isolation. No, there are crackheads streaming live as we speak. Well, why are you watching this? Why? I was kidding. That sounds interesting, actually. What do you do for fun? I watch crackheads on YouTube. Points to my stream. Like, look at this guy. Where was I at? Here we go. Somewhere you are. This involves your origin IP or geolocation. Some applications like online banking services restrict certain activities if you detect that they're making a request from an unknown IP address, something you do. This kind of authentication usually used in applications that restrict bot interaction, like registration pages. The application typically analyzes it. Is that how you spell analyzes? Or is that like the British way of doing it? I feel like that's a weird spelling. That might be like the English way of doing it. Because it just looks weird to me. This application typically analyzes the way the user types their credentials or moves their mouse. And this is also the most difficult to implement since the application requires a specific amount of processing power. By the way, that's another reason why I like Hack the Box more than TryHackMe, is because Hack the Box, everything they do is American English. And that's a UK company, by the way. Hack the Box is a UK company, but they still write in the American English, not the UK English. But TryHackMe, they do the UK English. Just ended so it was easy for taxes. Yeah, that makes sense. 2FA specifically requires exactly two of these factors. So while all 2FA is MFA, not all MFA is 2FA. For example, an authentication system that requires a password, a fingerprint scan, and a smart card would be considered MFA, but not 2FA. Yeah, I would definitely. The question here is, if you can't see the YouTube chat, would you recommend conquering TryHackMe before going to Hack the Box? And 100%. And let me tell you why. Let me just show you a quick example here. It's gonna learn. Let's go to search. Let's go to status completed. These are all the rooms I completed. There's like 200 and something of them. There's one room in here. Actually, let's change the difficulty to hard. Okay. Where's that? I think it was, I can't remember if it was, no, it wasn't Brain Pan. It was this one, the Daily Bugle. This room right here is hard, and it's a challenge room. It's not a learning room. Like, it doesn't really teach you anything. It's like, hey, hack into this thing and do it. And this is hard. I did this all by myself, like with no help or nothing. And this, like when I did this, I was like, oh, dude, I'm such a good hacker. I just did the hard thing without any help. Like, I'm in there. I'm not a hack. And then I go to Hack the Box and do an easy machine and get completely wrecked. So the moral story is, a hard room in TryHackMe significantly easier than an easy room, an easy machine on Hack the Box. So I do think it's best to start out with TryHackMe. Is it, how do you say your name? Is it Adonis? Adonis? Thanks for stopping in. Glad to see you here. Do you have a Worm GPT version? I don't know what Worm GPT is, so no. We're going to do this really slow. 2FA specifically requires exactly 2 factors. Oh, we already read that part. Kinds of 2FA. 2FA can utilize various mechanisms to ensure each authentication factor provides a robust security layer. Some of the most common methods include time-based one-time passwords. These are temporary passwords that change every 30 seconds or so. Apps like Google Authenticator, Microsoft Authenticator, and Authy use them, making them tough for hackers to intercept or reuse. Push notifications. Applications like Duo or Google Prompt send a login request straight to your phone. You can approve or deny access directly from your device, adding a layer of security that verifies possession of the device registered with the account. An attack involving push notifications like MFA fatigue attack, enabling an attacker to compromise the corporate account of an Uber employee. The details of this attack are out of scope for this room, but to learn more about what happened, you may visit the official security newsroom, which can be found here. We're not going to click that. SMS. Most of the applications currently use this method. This system sends a text message with one-time code to the user's registered phone number. The user must enter this code to proceed with a login. While convenient, SMS-based authentication is less secure due to vulnerabilities associated with intercepting text messages. I'm glad they put that in there. This is like the worst 2FA SMS because of the vulnerabilities when it comes to text message SMS. Hardware tokens. Devices like YubiKeys generate a one-time passcode or use NFC for authentication. They're great because they don't need a network or battery, so they work even offline. That's the name of that attack, SIM swapping. I don't know why I drew a blank. SIM swapping. That's where attackers basically trick your phone company to give them a new SIM card, and that's associated with your account, but they pretend like you're you, and they basically deactivate your SIM. SIM swapping attacks, very deadly. Conditional access. Conditional access is typically used by companies to adjust the authentication requirement based on different contexts. It's like a decision tree that triggers extra security checks depending on certain conditions. For example, location based. If a user logs from their usual location, like their office, they might only need to provide their regular login credentials. But they're logging in from a new or unfamiliar location, the system could ask for an additional one-time password or even biometric verification. Time-based. During regular working hours, users might get in with just their regular login credentials. However, if someone tries to access the system after working hours, it might be prompted for an extra layer of security, like a one-time password or security token. Behavioral analysis. Suppose a user's behavior suddenly changes, like they begin accessing data they don't usually view or access it at odd hours. In that case, the system can ask for additional authentication to confirm it's really them. Device specific. In some cases, companies don't allow employees to use their own devices to access corporate resources. In these situations, the system might block the user after initial login step if they're on an unapproved device. Global adoption and regulatory push. The adoption of MFA is rapidly expanding across various sectors due to its effectiveness in protecting against many common security threats, including phishing, social engineering, and password-based attacks. Governments and industries worldwide are recognizing the importance of MFA and are starting to mandate its use through various regulatory frameworks. For example, finance and healthcare sectors are now implementing stringent MFA requirements to comply with regulations such as GDPR in Europe, HIPAA in the United States, and PCI DSS for payment systems globally. Numerous breaches, such as the 2017 Equifax breach or the 2013 Target breach could have been prevented if MFA had been in place. When logging into the application, you receive a SMS on your phone containing the one-time password. What authentication factor is this? It's SMS. Is it SMS? Is that what they're looking for? SMS-based authentication? When logging... Oh, no. Never mind. It's not. It's looking for what type it is. Okay. Login application, receive SMS on your phone containing... Yeah, something you have. Something you have. Easy. Let's go. Is there any hands-on? Oh, here it is. Practical. Dope. Multi-factor authentication is now an important factor for keeping your online offline activities safe from threat actors, from banking and healthcare to corporate IT. These industries rely heavily on MFA to secure data from attackers. MFA and banking. Guys, I'm gonna stop reading this because I'm actually getting kind of tired of reading. So I'm just gonna read it to myself. It's on the screen if you need to see it. Would you recommend getting the OSEE cert for someone in college interested in reverse engineering? Not unless you have like all the other OffSec certs. The OSEE is the absolute hardest certification OffSec offers. The OffSec exploit expert. You are I would get the OSED, the OffSec exploit developer, before that. That's a prereq. And I mean, you don't have to have it as a prereq, but it certainly helps. Matter of fact, the OSEE, you can only do those classes in person. You can't self-study that. And they only have a limited amount of slots. And they only select people based off of certain credentials. Like you have to have some kind of experience in the field. You have to have, you know, if you already have an OSE3, which is a combination of the OSED, that's the exploit developer, like I said, WE, that's the web expert, and EP, which is experienced penetration tester. All 300 level courses, all extremely difficult. If you have all three of those, you get the OSE3, Offense Security expert. Yeah, OffSec Certified Expert 3. And if you have that, then you're like more likely to get into that course for the OSEE. Moral of the story is it's hard to get into the OSEE course. And if you can get in, then you're good. Then you can just go after it. But I don't know much about it because I'm way below it. Well, I won't say way below it, but I'm a handful of steps below that. right? I'm currently like, for the OffSec world, I'm at the 200 level. I have OSCP, I have OSWA, and OSWP, all 200 level certifications. And I don't have a single 300 level certification. OSCEE is a 400 level certification. So they have 100, 200, 300, and 400. So, and OSCP, I haven't done any of the 100 level courses, but I will say OSCP and OSWA at the 200 level, extremely difficult, like very hard. Doable, but it's hard. Like most people fail on their first try, and some people don't even pass ever because it's hard. And a lot of people quit, a lot of people give up. So, I don't know where you're at in your journey. I mean, you're in college, so I'm assuming you don't have much experience. But if you do, then I mean, absolutely just go for it. To answer your question though, that's definitely a good certification to have if you're interested in reverse engineering, 100%. But I think if it was my career and I wanted to go for reverse engineering, I would do something like, I would do the OSCP first, and then I would get the OSED and then the OSEE. And you might even want to get the EP and the WE before OSEE. That's a lot of letters. I just threw your way. If you need clarification on something, just feel free to ask more questions. Is MFA an important factor in keeping our online and offline activities safe from threat actors? Yay or nay? Nay. No, I was kidding. It's definitely yay. Definitely not yay. Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely 100%. You want to use MFA. I would put in nay, and like they just decertify me for everything. What certs would you recommend for hardware hacking on the embedded level? Ooh, that's a good question. I think there's only one. Not that I'm not 100% like verse in hardware hacking. Matter of fact, I've never done hardware hacking at all. But there is one certification that I know of. It's the TCM Security's Practical IoT Hacking Associate. I don't know what it is. There's an IoT one. TCM Security certifications. It's Practical IoT Hacking, but I forget the exact letters. Practical IoT Pentest Associate. This one. This is what you're looking for hardware hacking. There might be other ones out there, but this is the one I know off the top of my head that's probably going to be pretty high quality. And I actually might get this one myself later down the road. So this is one I have my eyeballs on for sure. Learn how to hack IoT devices. Start your journey in IoT testing with Practical IoT Pentesting Associate PIPA. Associate level PIPA certification exam focuses on embedded Linux IoT devices. So there you go. Embedded devices. So it's you probably get 48 hours to do an exam and then 24 hours to write the report, I'm imagining. Yeah, 2 days to complete, 2 days to write the report. Nice. So that's all I would check out. $240, $249. That's a pretty good price for a certification. Like I said, there might be other ones out there, but that's the only one that I know of off the top of my head. And I have the TCM Security Practical Web Pentest Associate, the PWPA. I actually made a video about that not so long ago if you want to check it out. But I have a TCM certification. I really like the process, and I think it's high quality education and high quality exams and really cool looking certifications. On top of that, I mean, of course you gotta have a cool looking certification. What's up, Julio? Thanks for stopping in. Glad to see you here. Welcome back. So we got weak one-time password generation algorithms, application leaking the 2FA token, brute forcing one-time password, uses of evil Gen X. Are projects worth putting on a resume, or is it better to focus on certs? It depends on who you ask. There's really no right answer to that. It also depends on who you're applying to. Some employers, some interviewers, some recruiters will value certs more than projects. Some will value projects more than certs. What you really need to do is do both. If you do both, then you win. You can't lose if you do both. So that's my answer. Do both. It's more work. But that's what makes you, that's how you land a position, is by outworking a competition. I made an entire podcast episode on this. My podcast, The Hacker's Cash. If you guys don't know about it. Really good podcast in my opinion. I'm obviously biased, but I made a podcast episode, which is also a video on YouTube, about the competition in cybersecurity. And the moral story is, like, the more work you do, the more likely you are to outshine the competition. You're competing against people for the same position. Position opens up, you get 100, sometimes 1,000 different people apply, and they're only going to pick one person. Do you think that being super proficient in coding is necessary for cybersecurity? I really love this field, but don't really like coding. Kind of suck at it. I can read it, but just don't like writing code all the time. What's up, Aiden? Thanks for stopping in. Glad to see you here. That's a good question, by the way. And I would say, if you are just getting started, yeah, you don't need to know it. You don't need to be a developer. I'm not a developer. I don't like coding either, actually. And ever since ChatGPT came out, I just have it write all the simple scripts for me. And my coding skills have actually deteriorated because I haven't been using that skill set, because ChatGPT it can do everything so much faster than I would be able to. The problem with it is you can't do anything like super advanced. Like, it's really only like ChatGPT and maybe even other large language models. I use ChatGPT. That's one I like. I don't really mess with the other ones, but I'm sure the other ones do similar things. Like, it's good for small scripts, but it's very limited when you try to do big projects. So if you're trying to make a huge tool, even a simple tool, it's not going to work. Because I did code a tool in Bash. It's on my GitHub, by the way, if you want to check it out. It's called Notify. Basically, it's like it's a way to, like, it'll send you a push notification to your phone when the command is done running. It's pretty cool. Like, if you have a long command that you know is going to take a long time, you can basically have it alert you on your phone and then tell you when your command's done. It's pretty cool. And I didn't make that I didn't make that app, by the way, but I made it easier to configure, essentially. So I have a tool that makes it a little bit easier to work with, is all I did. So I took something I was already built and I just made it easier to use. But more of the story is, like, I made that in a Bash script, and it's pretty simple, but it's too complex for ChatGPT. So I had to actually use my programming knowledge to, like, build this thing, right? And so what I'm trying to say here is, like, to get started, you don't need to be like an expert programmer. You don't need to be a developer or anything. But if you're trying to be like elite hacker status, or like a superb expert reverse malware engineer, like, you're gonna need to know how to code. But getting started, I don't think it's all that necessary starting out. I feel like scripting is super helpful, but beyond that, it's not neat. Yeah, I agree. Like you're not gonna write unless you're writing, like you're coding a tool, which you should probably make at least a couple tools throughout your career. Like I said, I have one already, and it's pretty simple. But that's also one thing you would put on a resume. Like, oh, I coded this tool. That's a good thing to put on your resume. Yeah, you don't need to be a developer by any means. Not at all. It depends on your position too. Like as a pen tester, you're definitely gonna want to know how to script. 100%. Even a SOC analyst, yeah, you're gonna want to know how to script like jar rules and stuff. So scripting definitely useful. Programming, like advanced applications, not necessary. So if you don't like coding, as long as you can, like you say, if you can read it and you can like make small scripts, then you're gonna be fine. Like you're gonna be able to find employment and still do the job. Because I'm no programmer myself. How you say your name? Is it Amadeus? Thanks for stopping in. Glad to see you here. How you doing today? This one's actually funny because there was actually a hack the box machine that had a vulnerability to brute force the one-time passcode for the web app, and that was unintended. Like the developer of that box, like the creator of that box, like they wanted it to make it to where you couldn't, like the vulnerability wasn't supposed to be in the MFA, it wasn't supposed to be in the one-time password, but there was. And I just remember that box came out. I forget which one it was. And the creator of the box was like, yeah, that was unintended. And then they're not allowed to patch the box until it's been out for a week because of the competitive aspect of it. So after the box has been out for a week, then they'll change it. So I thought that was pretty cool. So there was actually a brute force, well, unintended brute force one-time passcode for MFA on a box, and exploiting that was pretty fun. How do you end up in my recommendation? Just sub, bro. Well, if you watch cybersecurity content, if you watch hacking, ethical hacking content on YouTube, then that's how I ended up in your recommendation. If you don't watch cybersecurity content or hacking content, then I don't know how I ended up in your recommendation. Recommended videos, recommended live streams. Unless you're like a techie, like if you're like, you know, Google, like YouTube, like how to build a computer, or like you watch some other tech stuff, maybe that makes a lot of sense because, you know, we deal with technology here. But if you're not watching that stuff, then I don't know. But if you just sub, thank you. I appreciate you sub. I feel like it's more of an experience thing too. It's hard for me to learn and stay motivated on my coding skills with traditional learning. If I was doing things related to work and get hands-on, it's much easier to pick up. Yeah, it's definitely much easier to pick up when someone's giving you a paycheck to do that thing. Like, say, well, you better learn how to do this or we're not going to pay you. You know what I mean? Like, it's a lot easier to learn stuff, you know, especially if your job's on the line every day, which your job is on the line every day. That's another thing. Like, once you get in the field, like, you gotta do the work. And that's easier said than done, let me tell you what. Burnout is real. But yeah, you're right. You're right. It is easier to learn in that environment, I think. It depends. Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. It just depends on the type of person you are. But yeah, it's a lot easier to learn how to code when you're building a meaningful project. Like when I started learning coding, you know, I learned how to make a tic-tac-toe game. I coded a blackjack game in Python. And I'm like, this isn't really, like, I understand the coding principles, but it's like, it's not applicable. It's not a project that it's not a tool that I'm going to be using on much, you know? I don't use my tic-tac-toe game anymore, you know? I don't play my blackjack game that I coded. So if you're coding a tool that you're going to use every day, that's when it sticks. For sure. Especially when you come up with an idea. If you use it all the time and you come up with an idea and you want to add something to it, then that's even more reason to like keep your skill sharp. You constantly make your tool better and better. I'm just trying to follow this chart. Starts up here. We got a phishing link, not a legitimate. We got a phishing link. Goes to the user. User goes to fake Google. Evo injects 2. EC2. Takes their data. Google.yaml. I don't know what that means. Goes to Google. Comes back over to Evo Nginx 2. Bro, I'm lost. Where's 5? All 5's down here. Goes back to the user. Where's 6? Well, how did 6 get over here? Bro, these flowcharts, like, I can never follow them. Like, how? We go 5. So it goes, I was following it here. It says 5. Okay, I'm like, okay, I'm on 5. But how do I get to 6? There's no line that goes to 6. It's just like, hey, here's 6. That's what makes it confusing to me. Meh. It is what it is. Session cookie, back ticket. Seems confusing, man. What would your recommendation be for learning and becoming proficient with scripting in small projects? I would say pick up Python. That's a good one to pick up. Or what's the new one everyone's talking about? Golang, or Rust. I'd pick up I mean, you can really pick up any program. It don't really matter what programming language. I learned through a Udemy course is what I did, and then I picked up a couple books I got on my shelf is what I did. There's other things out there like Codecademy is one that people recommend. I never did it, so I don't really know how it is. But I would take some kind of course. Like I like a course type of person. Like I need a structured learning path. I don't need an instructor. I just need instructor or like pre-recorded videos is enough for me. And then yeah, do a course, and then hopefully you have a course that's good. And like the course I did on Udemy was like 0 to Hero Python Bootcamp or something like that on Udemy, and like he would teach you how to do Python and just follow along as you're watching the videos and just literally type in every single character that they do and understand why they're doing the thing that they're doing. And then like the course would, all right, now you try, and then you would try out the challenge, and you would do the challenge, and then it would be like, all right, now you try, and then you do the challenge. So that's how I did it. You want to do like coding challenges mixed in with a course. This is how I did it, but I don't know, everyone's different. Everyone learns differently. Everyone has different preferences. Rate limiting. What can be implemented to prevent brute forcing one-time passwords? Rate limiting. There's a lot going on here. I'm actually going to zoom this out. Yo, what's up, Tool? How's it going, man? Thanks for stopping in, bro. How have you been, bro? Go to mfa.thm allows first. Let's go and open that up. Server not found. Did we start this? What if we put this in our Etsy host? Let's see if that worked. Let's go and refresh this. There we go. I don't know why this symbol's here. It's driving me nuts. Up here in the top left. That should not be there. Yeah, like why is this here? It's just still there. That's gross. See if I can like exit full screen. No, still there. Gross. I don't know how to. That's annoying. You wouldn't think that would annoy me, but it does. Alright, so we gotta log on with the credentials they gave us, which is... This is the username. Copy that. Paste, and the password. What a good password. Test 1, 2, 3. Nice. Log in, don't save. Email verification. No, open the browser developer tools, usually pressing F12 and navigate to network tab. First clicking the login button. This tab allows you to see all network requests made by the application, including XHR requests. Is there a one-time password going to be in there? Once you're on the MFA, you'll see an XHR request triggered by the application that is sent to the /token endpoint. As you can see in the XHR request submitted to the /token endpoint above, the application returns a response with a size of 16 bytes. Click this request and navigate to the response tab as shown below. Look at that. Get the token. Copy the value of the token parameter and paste it in the one-time password form, then click verify account. Welcome. To remediate this, application should not return the generated 2FA or one-time password in the response. Instead of returning the one-time password, it is recommended to return a generic message like success. Alright, so we got to get... Can I refresh this? Let's do F12. Can I refresh this and get the token? No, we gotta go back. Let's go ahead and close out of this and hit back. Hit refresh. Okay, let's try this again. I forget the username. Paste the username in here. Test 1, 2, 3. We're gonna hit F12. We're gonna go to the network tab and we're gonna hit login. Boom, don't save. And we're looking for a token. Here it is. Token. Go to the response. There it is. Look at that. Boom. 9961. 9961. Verify account. Ooh, we're in. Look at that. We got a flag. Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. That's how you get the first flag, guys. Submit. Boom. Practical. Insecure coding. Logic flaw or insecure coding. So we want to go to second. So we're going to close out of this. We're actually going to close out of this and this. Okay, same login credentials. Alright. Typically the tag. I want to study this code here for a sec. I will say I'm not the best at reading code, so it takes me a minute to like actually understand what's going on. Alright, so to bypass this, all we have to do is log in like we normally would. Test 1, 2, 3. Log in. It's going to ask for a 2FA code, but then we can bypass it literally just by copying this right here. And then we get the flag. Oops, did not mean to click that. One more practical thing here and then we're done with the room. Pretty simple room actually. So we have to brute force this next one. This is the script. That's a long script. Here's a breakdown of the script. So basically we're just going to brute force it with this. They give you the code. Oh, Aiden, reading this code just reminded me of something. We're back on the topic of like knowing how to program, and this goes for everybody, not just Aiden. Like this is just something that's worth noting. So for those people who are like looking to get like the higher OffSec certs, like myself, like the OSWE, the OffSec Web Expert, that certification, you have to do like white box source code review, white box pen testing, and part of that exam is you have to write one-time use exploits. So you have to use, you know, a lot of the stuff that are in like something like this to make requests to a web app and then, you know, run malicious stuff. And because you have to have a one-time use, a one-shot code, and you can use any programming language you want, but it basically has to be a one-shot code, and you have to know how to program to get the OSWE. So that's one of the reasons actually why I stopped going after it. Not because I can get it with enough time, but I don't have enough time. I think I only have like 3 months left on my subscription, and I don't think I could realistically get that certification in 3 months. So I went to a different OffSec cert. Walshman, thanks for stopping in. Glad to see you here. Yeah, just reading this just reminded me of that. So if you want something like the OSWE, you definitely need to know how to program. Like I said, programming doesn't really come into play until you start doing the more advanced stuff, expert level stuff. Which is good news because programming is not easy. It requires a certain skill set that's not easy to build. Possible to build, not easily though, in my opinion, unless you just love coding. In that case, it's going to come a lot easier to you. And I thought coding was fun when I first started learning it, but then when I started getting in like the intermediate stuff, I'm like, this is not fun anymore. Mariko Martinez, thanks for subscribing over on the YouTube channel. I appreciate you. Okay, so I read all this, and I'm gonna show you how to do it. So all you gotta do to pass this, guys, is you can copy and paste all this. You like how I'm explaining it as I'm trying to figure it out? I'm pretty confident in my ability to get this to work. Alright, we need to change directory to TryHackMe so I keep things organized. Let's just do nano exploit.py. Paste this in here. This should work. Control exploit enter Python 3. Before we run that, we need to no, we don't need to do anything. Let's just gotta run this. It's only trying 1337. I thought. It just tries 1337 until it works. It's wild. I don't understand why it's only. Let's look at this code real quick. Yeah, it's a hard-coded one-time passcode. It's just try until successful. This would be a lot faster if I would try other ones, I guess. There we go. I guess it works eventually. But here is our cookie. So all we have to do is take this cookie after it is successful, come back over. Where's the link? If we go to third and we go to cookies. Well, I have a cookie app. I want to do it. If you don't have this extension, this is how you would do it. You'd have to go F12 and then storage, cookies, MFA, and then just replace this cookie value with the one that we had. Push enter, hit refresh, and then you'll log in. And that's how you get the flag. Easy peasy. I have this extension. It's a really cool extension where you can modify cookies, cookie editor, and it's super easy. You literally just click it and then you can type in whatever you want for the cookie right here. I mean, this isn't hard to do by any means, but if you're moving cookies in and out a lot, then this makes it a lot easier, especially if there's multiple cookies. Saves you a couple clicks. So, highly recommend that extension on Firefox if you are using Firefox, which I feel like is almost a. I like Google Chrome more, but when it comes to my pen testing, I like Firefox more because I feel like it works better for pen testers, web app hacking, and network pen testing. Well, mostly web app hacking, I guess, because you wouldn't use a internet browser for network. I guess you could sometimes, but yeah. Conclusion: in this room, we've covered the essentials of multi-factor authentication, MFA, or two-factor authentication, 2FA, giving you a solid understanding of how these security measures strengthen systems against unauthorized access. Key takeaways: understanding MFA. MFA adds layers of security by requiring multiple forms of verification, significantly reducing the risk of unauthorized access. Addressing vulnerabilities. Common issues like weak one-time password algorithms and lack of rate limiting can undermine security, highlighting the need for strong implementation practices. Best practices. Secure one-time password generation, rate limiting, and user education are crucial for maintaining effective MFA systems. Understand the need for proper MFA systems. Boom. Done. We did it. We did it. We got 48 points, dude. By the way, guys, if you guys watch my YouTube videos and you guys, I talk about LinkedIn all the time. Like, hey, create a LinkedIn account. And then I tell people all the time, like, after you complete TryHackMe Room, like, take this and share it on LinkedIn. Share it on Twitter. Facebook really doesn't matter. I feel like the professionals aren't on Facebook. I would say at the bare minimum, share it on LinkedIn. And if you have a Twitter account, share it on there too. But LinkedIn's more important in my opinion because that's where all the professionals are. They're the people where the recruiters and hiring managers are at. So, yeah, all you gotta do is like literally just take this and just share, sign in your LinkedIn and then share the badge. Now, I'm not going to do it. It's kind of like a do as I say and not what I do. But the reason why I'm not doing it is I'm literally streaming on LinkedIn right now. Like everybody, all my followers can see this right now. And I don't need to just post, hey, I got the badge for TryHackMe. Because I've literally just demonstrated how I did it. Which is, like, if you stream on LinkedIn, dude, that's way better than posting a badge. Let me tell you what. Content creation helps you out a lot. Obviously, it's like very nerve-wracking to get on camera and talk about things that you know, that you're learning about. But since I have a lot of experience, it makes it easy for me to like talk about this stuff and go through these rooms pretty quickly. Hammer is next. How long does Hammer take? Let's see here. 60 minutes. Oh, this is a challenge. Oh, this is cool. This is a challenge. Should I do it, guys? Or should I save this for next week? This is not a walkthrough. Oh, this is exciting to me. These walkthroughs get kind of boring, but this is an actual challenge. Use your exploitation skills to bypass authentication mechanisms on your website and get RCE. I think I'm going to save this for next week. This is going to be nice. This is going to be fun. Well, not next week, but the next TryHackMe stream. So, for those who don't know, I stream TryHackMe 1 week, then I will go Hack the Box, then I will go Portsawyer Web Security Academy, and then I just do those 3 in a loop. So, next week will be Hack the Box. So, we're going to say this for the next TryHackMe stream. I think 1 room at a time is really what I like to do, but I think it's easier for people to follow and understand. When I start doing multiple rooms, it's kind of gets weird. So, with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks for hanging out. Hopefully you learned something. Hopefully you got value out of the live stream. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out in the YouTube comments. Ask whatever you want. And make sure you check out my other videos on YouTube. And make sure you check out my podcast, The Hacker's Cache. Once again, thanks for watching. Thanks for your support. You guys are awesome. Peace out. Take care. Have a good one. Kyser, out.